Welcome to my first video of the week. In these blogs I'm going to discuss topics that are interesting to me, and as you can imagine I relate to my master's thesis. So the first topic is how can an investor recoup at least part of his losses from third parties, from companies that are not the company that did go bust. And to illustrate the question, I'll start with discussing the case of Pellegrin Financials. Several months ago, Pellegrin Financials did go bust because the chief executive stole the money of the customers, pretty much stole them bluntly. And the customers are trying to find anyone they can sue with deep pockets, so he or she could kind of make at least partially some of the losses. So I'm going to extend the case of Pellegrin Financials and try to elaborate a bit on how can an investor actually ensure that he would be able to at least partially get some losses off. So the first one in the kind of nice pecking order, deep pocket candidates to be sued are of course the regulators. Now this is very difficult, of course, simply because you have to make a mental picture. A creditor files a claim in front of the judge that the general taxpayer should pay the creditor a large amount of money because the regulator did not catch the infringement in time. That would be a very tough case. Further, it would appear that at the very least in the United States, please see the link below, the self-regulatory agency, the one that is directly responsible for catching these things, cannot be sued. I mean, this is the law. And this is the law not only in the United States, it goes in quite many other jurisdictions on similar lines. So if we kind of scratch the regulators as a possible target, the creditor can then try to go to the auditors. After all, the auditors are paid by the creditors and the shareholders to tell if there are some problems well ahead. Now, here I'm going to cite the case of Ernst & Young, who were the auditors of Lehman Brothers. And in mid-2012, pretty much quite recently, Accountancy and Accrual Discipline Board, which is a UK institution nonetheless, decided that Ernst & Young did nothing wrong in the Lehman case. And that's beside the findings of the Valucus report. So the kind of conclusion I can draw, and pretty much everyone else, is that if an investor tries to recoup his losses by suing the auditors, he will be rather disappointed and stuck with the bill for the legal expenses. Now, third in line of possible persons on the shoot are the credit rating agencies, which however are quite notorious in not being very generous with disappointed investors. As you know, I mean, the credit rating is, after all, the expression of free speech by those agencies, and they're not binding at all. So they're making the case that whoever is trying to sue them may very well try, but they're not going to succeed. So that is kind of shortening the list to someone with cash. Probably you may try to recoup from bank, trade partners, other counterparties of the trade, but that would be really difficult, especially in the proving part. Even if those entities were aware that would-be bust institution was close to insolvency, to give them the burden of care of your money would be really stretching the assumption of care. Well, as in the case of MF Global, JP Morgan showed that even a custodian bank, please note that they were a custodian bank, may easily go out of their way and claim the money from segregated accounts. I mean, they took the money from the segregated accounts of the customers by the custodian bank for the custodian bank to pay itself. I mean, and this is still being debated. Do you imagine what kind of proof should be brought in front of a court to try to sue a third party for damages? I mean, it really goes beyond imagination. So that pretty much sums it as the persons that have deep pockets. Of course, you can always try to sue members of the board, executives and other top managers. Even if you prove gross negligence, however, it is unlikely that you would be able to recoup more than their bonuses through the years. And to be quite honest, if we look at the amount of bonuses compared to the amount of damages that from all the investors, that would amount to really small amount per investor. And last, you may try to hold pension funds or some employee scheme responsibilities, but in any case that would not fly very, very high, and I don't think that it would be at all plausible. So, I think that my imagination kind of reached its limits about people that may be sued and may be on the hook for the busted of the institution. Of course, I'm excluding insurance schemes, clearing houses, and other similar players who should give portion of your money back, and they should give it according to the contracts you have with them. So, to recap, if your liabilities are not insured and you could not get your hands at the collateral soon enough, you'll be on the long queue with many others, and we'll hope that you get something left in the bankruptcy estate. Well, generally, don't hold your breath.